Walter's got the fabric stash. Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our life. Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Okay, we just had our mouths going there, and we just realized you can't hear a word we were saying because I forgot again to unmute the microphone. So it should be
And I
okay now.
forgot to look at it.
And yeah, you didn't. It's Walter's fault. He usually corrects me on these things, and he did not correct me now. So I know there's a bunch of you now writing in the chat. I'll bet
Okay,
you.
we just had our mouths going there,
Yeah.
and we just realized you can't.
So I'm sure there's lots of you on here that just realized that to tell us that you couldn't hear us. Let's just see. Let me scroll down and see. Let's see. What? Yep, there we go. Okay, first one to detect it was Gloria. No sound. Betty says, I have no voice. Yep. Well, you can hear us now because I just explained it.
I think it just went live.
Yeah. So other ones will. Yeah. Okay, Betty says it's okay now. Yeah, I know. It was just simply a button I needed to push that I forgot to push. I got so excited about talking about Russ's So Day that we just had. So anyways.
Yeah, I didn't make it on until about half an hour at the end because I got up late and then I had to go for a walk.
Excuses.
And Steve joined me for the walk, and then he went shorter than I did. I decided I wanted to walk a little more.
But it's not a competition.
No, I just like to walk a certain amount every day, and it was too short for me.
Too short. That's what you say about me. I'm too short for you. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, let's see who is joining us. So Barb was number 1 here, and closely followed by Nina. And Russ came in 3rd, but of course he has to be excused for that because he was busy manning the his sewing shenanigans day, which we just mentioned. We had a good time with, and we're not really sure if Russ is on here right now because back when he ended at 3:30 with the thing and said he had to go out to the grocery store. So he may be here, he may not be here right at the moment. I'm not sure how far away his grocery store is. Kenny is here. Caroline is here. Happy snowy Sunday. Yes, it is. We are having our first snowfall. And it is somewhat substantial. It's wet. It's melting. It'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, it's accumulating on the grass and on on other objects, but it's not accumulating on the road right now.
In fact, actually, I can show you a picture of what it looked like earlier. And let's go here. So here's looking out in our driveway. So yeah, it's not a lot of snow, and Walter's very concerned because the leaves are still on the tree and on the ground. So yeah,
it's going to get warmer this week, so it'll all thaw away.
And earlier this morning, I took this picture around before noon. And let me find the other picture. There it is. This is looking out on our deck and into the forest, and that was at about 6 o'clock this morning. So we haven't had a sizable accumulation, although there is more on the car, and it is still snowing.
Yeah, it is.
But it's
supposed to stop snowing soon, though.
Yeah, it's it's light, it's wet, it's going because the ground isn't frozen yet either, for that matter. So it's not going to stick here with us. Let me see. Where's my buttons here? I can't see anything.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to stop at around 6.
So, yeah.
And then it gets windy.
Yes, because actually it's been pretty much 0 all day. Right now it's -1, but there was a wind chill factor, and the wind chill factor put it to -8. I'm talking Celsius, of course, which, let's see, -8 minus 8 is -16. Subtract from 30. That makes it, what, 24? No, 14 degrees?
No, it's not that low.
Can't be that low.
What number are you talking about?
Well, the wind chill, -8. -8, you have to double it.
Okay, minus.
So minus plus a minus is still a minus. Is -16. Subtract -16, or add 30 to -16, actually. Add 30. Makes it 24. No.
17.6 degrees.
Okay, so it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17.
But it's going to minus
Fahrenheit.
4 tonight.
Yeah. Ooh, chilly. Welcome to Canada, Frosty. Actually, this is a little early. Oh, well, it's not unusual for us to get snow in November,
No.
even here. But exactly where we live, and you've heard us talk about this before, we live close to Lake Ontario. So we get this thing called lake effect. And so buffalo will get buried, whereas we'll have
Yeah,
grass.
-4 is 24, 28, 25 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So, yeah, we get lake effect snow, but a lot of times, if the wind blows from the south to the north, then we get the snow. If the wind blows from the north to the south, then the U.S. gets the snow.
Yeah. So you never know, but it's still early. Ground's not frozen, as I said, so it's not going to hang around at all. We're not running out and making snowmen. Not that we would, even if there was lots of snow. So let's see, carry on with who is here. Betty, I said. Caroline, I said. Sue Norfleet is here. Hello, Sue. And Susanna. Suzanne is here. And Charlotte. Karen B. Faith. Gloria. Mona. Elizabeth. Skabernicki. That's an interesting last name.
Yeah, or that's just her.
Well, it could be real. I mean,
Yeah,
who
well.
can make up a name like that?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. Dubrovka is here, and probably Al from Timmins. And she says, yep, there's snow there. Well, I would imagine if we're getting snow down here, they're probably getting snow up there in Timmins. And I would imagine a lot more than we're getting down here. And Judy is here, and Denise is here. Very chilly where she is at. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow for her. Alice is here. Jean is here. Well, Cynthia. Where'd it go? It bounced on me. Okay. I hate it when it does that. Cynthia's here. Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa. Philippa has the exact opposite problem, I am sure. We may be below zero. She's probably hovering around like 38 or 40 degrees Celsius. So, Susan is here. Sherry is here. And Bonnie.
Yeah, Brisbane's, according to here, the high is 25. It's
Oh.
20 degrees right now.
Oh, well, comfortable. Green Quilts Galore is here. Photo Princess 1 from Salt Lake City is here. Deluxe 110 from Minnesota is here. Kim is here from the East Coast. And Philippa says maybe a cold, snowy holiday season. Possibly,
maybe.
but maybe
Maybe
not. We're so used to green Christmases in this area
Yeah.
now that, to have a white Christmas is... It used to be a big thing for me. I always thought you needed to have snow at Christmas. And when I was much younger, now, I don't care. It's pretty. On Christmas Eve, a light, fluffy, flaky flakes falling down on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. And on Christmas Day, just light snow is nice. And then at the end of Christmas Day, it can all melt.
Yeah, it's not reliable that we're going to get snow before New Year. So
No. Teresa is here. Oh, she says Elizabeth says it's real Ukrainian.
Oh,
Okay, so like I said, nobody could make up a name like that. Phyllis is here. And Heather. Dana is here. Greetings from Regina, Dana says. So, Dana, are you dry out there? Are you getting any snow in Regina? Philippa says, yes, we all have a pleasant...
we all have a pleasant week.
We all have a... Okay. Have
We're having
pleasant
a pleasant week.
week. Okay, but have been having wicked tropical storms. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose you are. Yeah, true. Yeah, well, every place you live has its pitfalls. Pat is here. Hi, Pat. Okay, I'm here also, dear one. Well, bless your heart. I love that expression. Yeah, but Pat taught it to me. So it's her fault. That one. Okay, so everybody's here. Probably a few more joining in as they come in. We'll say hello. So, what have I been working on? Well, the quilt, another quilt from hell. I have completed the top, and yes, it is what you're expecting it is. It is Stormy Sea. There she be, Stormy Sea. In all its grandeur and beauty and size, it is 108 inches square. So, guess what problem I'm having? I can't get her on Lucy to quilt it. Nope.
It's too wide.
Too wide. I have a 12-foot frame. But
You have a 10-foot.
Or sorry, I have a 10-foot. I wish I had a 12. No, I'm not going to say that because Walter will go, I told you should have got
I
a 12.
told him to buy a 12-foot because I figured that even if you didn't have a quilt that was too big, it gave you extra room to quilt on, right? So to do that. But no,
I didn't think
we
we'd get
could
it in.
fit it in there. I measured even last night, and sure enough, yeah, it could fit.
We actually took a look at what it would cost us to go to a 12-foot frame from this one. It
wasn't. It was the same price.
No, I'm talking about now.
Oh, now, if we want to do it now, yeah.
Listen, what part of English don't you understand? Shall I do it in sign language? Like the wind blew in Chicago. Okay. It's about what, 11,000?
Well, that's for the deluxe table that goes up and down.
Well, I wouldn't want anything less. But no, I am not dropping $11,000.
American dollars.
Because it's not going to cost me $11,000 to have this quilt done professionally, and that's what I'm doing. I have put in my request at Kawartha Quilting. We went looking at other spots. First of all, my first idea was to look, is there a possibility that I could quilt it on Lucy? And on Needy at Quilter this week, I'll go into all the different possibilities, and I know some of you will give me suggestions, and don't bother, because I've heard them all, okay? And none of them are feasible, because I would screw up. And more than anything, I've spent a lot of time, effort, and money on getting this quilt to this stage, and I don't want to, pardon my language, fuck it up. Because you know me, I am an idiot, and if I try to put it on Lucy, who cannot handle it, and try to wing it somehow, I'm just going to screw the whole thing up. Lucy and I will have major words. I will be angry as all get out, and there will be no living with me.
I do have a question about that. This one.
What?
Is there something missing in the very corner?
No, it's because it's all around behind the...
Oh.
Look, that's our bulkhead.
Oh, okay.
Comes down there. There's nothing missing.
All right.
I knew you were going to ask that. I knew that. I can only get so much in that room. This is a big
I know
quilt.
that. I thought it would be something like that, but I didn't. It just looked like it was a piece missing.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing. It's absolutely perfect in every way. So you keep studying it. You keep looking for a mistake.
No,
Yes, you are. That's
No.
what you're. Yes, you are. I know you too well. That's what you're doing, and there isn't. I have been through it thoroughly. You have already looked through it, different stages of it thoroughly. It is perfect. In fact, it is so perfect that it was supposed to finish at 108 inches square, and guess what? It is exactly not an eighth over, not a quarter of an inch under. It is exactly 108 inches square. I am very proud of that. That's why I do not want to screw it up on the quilting. So I have contacted Kawartha Quilting by way of their website. There's a form you fill out. I haven't heard back from them, but I put that in Saturday morning before they were even open, and they're only open till about 1 or 2. I'm not sure what their hours are anymore there. And they're not open today, and they're not open on Monday. I'm going to wait until about Wednesday. If I don't hear anything from them, I'm going to call them up and I'm going to say, hi, did you get my form? And I know they're probably really busy right now, this time of year, because this is panic time, right? This is where people have been working on these quilts and suddenly decided they have to be done for Christmas for gifts. And they're going to have somebody else quilt it for them. And yeah, they're in a panic. I am not in a panic. I can wait for it. But I would like to talk to them about what I have in mind. They have a huge gamble. They know what they're doing. They do it all the time. So yes, it's going to cost me for this. I have sort of budgeted, and you'll probably drop off your chair, $1,000. You're going to $1,000 to quilt it? Well, they only charge like 3 cents an inch or something. Well, I already know how much it would cost for basic edge-to-edge design quilting on this, because they have a thing that does an estimate. And before taxes, it's $350 to do this in a simple edge-to-edge design. However, ideally what I want them to sell me the batting because they have it there. And I am thinking, like the batting I usually use is an 80-20 blend, Hobbs. I need 120 inch, which is actually what I usually buy. I have that here myself, but it's a big pain in the ass. Any of you that have a long arm know, putting the quilt on the frame and getting your batting on it and all that good stuff. It is a real strain on your body, and it's annoying. It's annoying. It takes me probably an hour to get a quilt mounted on the frame. I mean, other people who do it on an everyday basis as a business, I'm sure they just lickety split through it all, but I don't lickety split. So there's that. But then I got looking, and they charge $20 a meter, which is really good for 80-20. But they have wool. And I think the wool was $28 a meter, and I'm going to need a little over 3 meters of batting, a 120 inch batting. So, that's going to add up there. But everybody talks about how great wool batting is. I mean, especially this is going on the bed, and it's big enough. It's going to drape down the sides, which is what we want. And they say wool batting just makes things just drape beautifully. So, if I'm going to spend this kind of money on it, I might as well go for the whole enchilada. And I'm also, okay, the other problem was the backing. I bought, at the same time as I bought the kit, the backing fabric for this, in case they ran out. And I got what was recommended. And what was recommended was 3 meters of 108 inch. Math's hard, not good. I should have thought about that. Wait, 108, and if the quilt's 108, that doesn't leave any room to have, you need extra. Because when you're quilting, when you're mounting it on a frame, you want about 4 to 6 inches all the way around that. And I wasn't thinking that. So my backing is wide enough. It actually works out to 117 inches. Don't ask me how. Because basically 3 meters is about 108 or a little bit more than 108. But anyways, that's okay that way. But lengthwise, it is only 108, and so is the quilt, so it's not enough. So what do? Piece it. Well, ideally, I don't want to piece it. I would like one piece. I'd like 120 inch wide backing. Well, that's hard to find. There is some out there. I scoured the internet, but nothing that I liked for this. And I really like this fabric that goes in the back. But I have decided that I'm going to talk to them at Quilter Quilting and say, if you can get me, ideally I would like, I've got it already pieced. I have pieced the piece I had. What I did was I cut it in half, and I took a strip about yay big, about 20 inches or so, of the batik fabric I had left over. I was able to have a long enough piece, and I had to put it end to end. And
is it the same fabric?
No, okay. It's a batik, but it's a different, but it's got the colors in it that are in the back. No, it's obvious when you look at the back that there is a stripe in the middle from it, but it would work. But I don't really feel comfortable with that. So I'm going to ask them, what are the chances of you finding me some backing fabric that's 120 inches wide that would, fit this quilt? I mean, you're not going to get an exact match, but if you get something that is, works with it, because you don't see the back anyways at the same time, especially when it's going to be on a bed. So, if it blends in generally, it'll work. Okay, so that will cost, of course, on top of that. And then there's thread and all that kind of stuff. Not that that's that expensive, but for it. So yeah, it's going to mount up there. And somebody suggested to me today on Russ's Sew Day, if you're going to go to all that trouble and that expense, why not see if they'll bind it too? They will square it up. It's on their form. And yes, definitely, I'm having them square it up because I don't have anything big enough. And it's a pain in the ass trying to square up a quilt. Although this quilt is square. Like, there'll be very little, but of course you have to do some after you've quilted it because everything gets shrunk down, pulled in, so it'll lose that, right? So there's going to have to be some trimming done to it. So let the professionals do it. And if I can get the professionals to do the binding, that's ideal. You know, I have never ever had anybody quilt one of my quilts, whether good at it or not good at it. When I was just doing it on a domestic machine, I have never ever had anybody quilt my quilts. But in this case, I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. Well, I know I have to bite the bullet and go, yep, have it professionally done. So we'll see what that comes to. And how long will it take? As I said, they're probably really tied up. It'll go in their queue. I may not see it for 6 months. And I'm okay with that. I have to be okay with that. Now, we had some other alternatives. We went down to Whirls and Swirls, Tracy, who is the APQ dealer for us, and Tracy's great.
Yeah, and actually, you probably would have gotten it quilted with by her
if she hadn't had a motorcycle accident, which we didn't know about.
No.
We get down to her shop to talk about it. My idea there was we'd put it on a Millie, which is model bigger than the Lucy.
Like she has 14-foot tables there.
Yeah.
So.
And she has quilt path attached to them all. And I am sure she would let me quilt it myself using quilt path because she knows I know how to use quilt path. But also at the same time, I know I've developed some bad habits and I could use a bit of a refresher course on, you know, loading it properly for quilt path. So I thought, okay, I would talk to Tracy and say, okay, I want to rent your big machine kind of a thing. This is what I want to do. And if you don't mind, maybe you can spend a little time with me at the beginning of the session, just going over a few pointers and things that I should know. And she would. I know Tracy's wonderful. But we get there, the shop is closed and there's a sign on the door. By appointment only. Due to an accident. Anything is by appointment only, and she had her phone number there. And I went, uh-oh, I wonder what has happened to Tracy. Because we know she loves, one of her hobbies is motorcycle riding. She's got a great big Harley Davidson, and she's a motorcycle mama on that. And like, Tracy's, well, she's not old, but she's not spring chicken. No. Okay, she's younger than us, but not by a lot. So anyways, and she loves her motorcycle. So we thought, okay, this isn't good. So we went down to Ultimate Sewing because I wanted to speak to Donna because she's doing this quilt as a block of the month. And there were some things where I was running short of fabric or thought I would be. And there was also some instructions at the very end of it that didn't make any sense at all. I mean, I didn't have any problem figuring out what to do because it just involved the borders. But they were telling you certain measurements for pieces that they never told you to cut, and I couldn't figure out where the hell those were supposed to go according to their diagram. So I just went ahead and did my thing with it, which made it work, and it looks exactly like it's supposed to look. So I asked her about that. She'd kind of forgot, but she knew there were some problems with it, and they had ordered more fabric because, yeah, she says there's going to be some shortages. So I said,
yeah, especially some people that may not be as good as you with cutting may have run into some problems.
I was very frugal with my cutting, because I didn't know for sure. I figured I've had bad experiences with kits before. Mm-hmm. So I said to Donna, because Donna's already made one, it hangs up in the store. That's where we saw it originally. I said, so how'd you quilt it? She says, oh, Ellie did it. Ellie's another lady who works in the shop, and she does on the side, she does long arm quilting for people. And she's very good at it. And I said, okay, well, that's a possibility.
But she doesn't have automation on her machine.
No.
So she does everything by pantograph.
By paper pantographs, yeah. And that, which is not a problem.
No, she's supposed to be good at doing it.
And I want an edge-to-edge design. I'm not looking for custom. So, yeah. But the problem is, she's British, and she hasn't been home for Christmas to Britain in quite a few years, and this year she's going. And she's going to be gone for a while, naturally. So
She also had got sick
yes,
a year ago or so, and she's had some lasting problems from that as well.
well,
So
she got shingles in her eyes,
yeah,
and her eyes are still not right.
no.
They're
So I don't know if she's uh, how healthy she is as well.
yeah. So yeah, so I didn't really want to bother her. Now back to Tracy. While we're there, went down to see Tracy, and they went, and I said, Tracy had an accident, and they're good friends with Tracy because she used to work for years at Ultimate Sewing before she got into her own long arm business. She says, yeah, she had an accident on her motorcycle, and I said, car hit her? Nope, tree hit her, or
She hit a tree.
she hit a tree.
I guess she does. I guess she must do the forest type thing or
Maybe
something.
she does, or it was just
There's a guy I used to work with that did that. He would have a bike, I don't know, road cross, I don't know what they call them. Bikes that you could ride through the forest type of thing, and motocross or whatever. And she probably has one of those.
Yeah,
And
well.
the guy I used to work with, he was young, and he would get into accidents all the time on his bicycle. Actually, when she told us she had a motorcycle, I thought it was just a non-road motorcycle, but obviously she must have an off-road motorcycle. So
yeah. So, and she did a lot of damage herself. She broke her collarbones, and she just had surgery or something. No, she had the surgery back at the end of the summer for it. She did this a while ago. And she was back in the hospital again for some.
that she had some other problems, I guess, after the surgery.
Yeah.
I know the guy I worked with. He was a young guy, and he broke his collarbone too. But he was young, so things mend faster when you're younger.
So the ladies at the shop said, like, you could probably give her a call up, and she won't be able to do it for you, like, obviously upper body mobility, because Tracy does a lot of free motion quilting too. She's excellent at it. Does beautiful work. But, even if she's not, it's still, even with the computer, loading, all that stuff would be too hard on her. And, they said, well, she could probably sit there and, guide you or kind of a thing. But I don't know if she's really feeling up to that. I would think she's probably in a lot of pain still, and I don't want to bother her with it. So, Quilter quilting it is, hopefully.
That was my suggestion.
Yes, it was. I hadn't
Of
thought
course,
of them.
does a lot of, or they're professionals, and they do a lot of in-store. They have quilting for other people. So
Yeah.
I think they would do a
I think
good
they'll do a
job.
good job with it. So, yeah. And they know me. So, that too. Not that that'll make any difference on the kind of job they would do, but I mean, it doesn't hurt. And,
Yeah, well, they'll know that if they screw it up, you'll hear
well, I'll
about
be
it on,
telling everybody
on YouTube.
sometimes it's good to have a channel. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. So the quilt is not completely finished. It may not be finished for a while, but you don't have to look at it much more. Well, next week I'll show it again on my other things, but after that, yep.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I really like it.
High praise, considering that the reason I've gone through this whole hell is because he didn't like
It's
the
my
quilt.
fault.
He didn't like my Barn Star sampler on the bed.
I'm getting used to it.
Oh, yeah, now you tell me.
It's a nice quilt. It is. The Barn Star Sampler is a really nice quilt. But the color, I'm not that fond of the colors in it.
Well, I have to admit, I'm
I
not
still
either.
think it looks nice, and it's kind of growing on me, sort of like molds.
Like a fungus, yeah. Okay, fine.
But
Well, this quilt, the Stormy Sea, is my opus, I think. I am never going to, if I see a kit, I'm going to look at the sizes, the finished size of it more carefully. I am never going to do a quilt that's over 100. Actually, I'm never going to do a quilt that's over 96 inches square. Again. So, because buying a new thing, new frame or whatever.
yeah, somebody on here said something. I can't see the comment about, is there any way you can extend it 2 feet? No, it's not. The table is not extendable in any way.
There are tables you can do that with. I think Genomes you can, and possibly Handy Quilters. But this is an EPQS machine. They are solid steel rails.
Yeah, the rails weigh like 50 pounds a piece, and They're solid steel, and there's no way you can extend them, and there's no way you could buy an extension. The only way you have to buy a whole new table that's 12 feet.
Yeah. I'm just looking at people's. Elizabeth says, Stephen, I got my giggle for today. Oh, laughing at me, are you? Well, fine. I'm not hurt really much. No. Thank you everybody for saying it's beautiful. Stormy C, Photo Princess says, is your arch nemesis. It is right now. Yes, it is. I've done a lot of quilts from hell though. Yep. And I have survived. I have been...
Actually, you're better at doing quilts from hell than you were in the past.
I guess that's a backhanded compliment. I'm not sure. If what you're saying is what Pat told me one time, or no, Brenda told me one time. Well, you're getting better. Yeah, and you're getting older and you'll die. Okay. Let's see. Could you just purchase it too? Yeah.
No, you can't purchase.
No, we've already addressed that. Thank you, Charlotte. Would you consider bamboo batting? And Mona says, I like bamboo batting. It drapes nicely as well. I'm not sure if they have bamboo. They didn't have it on the form. They did have wool, but that's a possibility. Now, I know bamboo batting is very expensive, but that is something I want to go in and I want to talk to them about all of the options that are here. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to nickel and dime it. I'm allotting $1,000 for this most expensive quilt that I've ever made, because I'm already into this quilt for over 500 in materials and that. And I mean, and you know, that doesn't count your time, but I'm not selling it to anybody. It's for us. It doesn't go to anybody. And ironically, I look back on it, and when we first looked at it, I said, that was when my sister wanted a quilt. And I said to Walter, oh, well, maybe she'd like this one because it's kind of earth tone colors. And Walter says, no, you won't be making it for her. Thank God. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, no. No one beyond me and Walter are quilt worthy enough for this quilt. Deluxe says she agrees on the wool. And Laurel's here. Hi, Laurel. And Inappropriate Quilter's here. And I think did I miss anybody else? No, I don't think so. Oh, Diane Tambling is here from Plymouth, UK. We love watching you both. Oh, well, thank you. Glad you do. Sue says you'll love the wool. It's warm in winter and breathes in summer months. Okay.
If obviously soon.
I am definitely leaning towards the wool.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about buying wool batting, but it is twice the price on the roll for it. Now, I know I could probably buy, you know, Quilter's Dream or something, and they have wool in the packages and that. And not saying I wouldn't someday, but not for this quilt. Yeah. And like I said, I might as well go for the whole enchilada. And Diana
because says, this isn't a quilt that we're you're just putting on a rack somewhere.
Yeah. This is going to be on the bed. So Diana says, I buy sheeting by the yard for the back of my large quilts. Like bed sheeting?
Oh.
Well, okay, no insult. If that works for you, Diana, good. I wouldn't even consider it. Totally different texture than quilting cotton, in my opinion.
Yeah, we want it to look just as nice on the back as it does on the front.
Yeah. But I mean, if that works for what you're doing, fine, go for it. I mean, I don't have anything against it. I just know for me, that is something I would not consider at all. Let's see. Inez is here. Hi, Inez. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Inez says, not a good feeling when someone ruins your quilt. Yeah, well, that someone would probably be me. So, no. Marjan is here. Wool is my batting of choice too. Warm in winter, yes, and cooler in summer. And the loft is best. Yeah. Faith says, I think you should consider entering it in a show. I don't know.
It is a kit.
It is a kit, for one thing. Second of all, I won't have quilted it myself. I mean, I know you can enter in the show and you say who's quilted it and all that kind of stuff. Really, I'm not interested in dragging something this size to a show, and we don't have any shows, with the exception of the Canadian Quilt Show, that really, like most of the quilt shows we have here are Mickey Mouse. They're usually held by guilds. I mean, not that guild shows are Mickey Mouse, but they usually don't have really a competition and that kind of thing. And yeah, no, I don't think so. In my mind, I'll just make my own ribbon for it. I won best of show. Yeah, here's my ribbon. I made it. Kim says there's a company in Ontario who makes alpaca batting. Yeah, okay, now we're getting into the exotic stuff though.
No.
And
you want commercially produced
yeah.
batter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure all of that is wonderful, but yeah. And Phyllis says, can you buy a frame extension? No, we've already talked about that. No.
You don't know what this frame is. The frame that we have weighs 600 pounds.
Yeah, it's solid steel rails. They do not extend.
Yeah, the rails are like this big around.
Yeah.
So there's no...
These will not... You can stand on them and they wouldn't bend.
Yeah, like very heavy people, very heavy Americans could stand on it.
Yeah. And a few Canadians. Arta's here. Hello, Arta. Yeah, so no, the best solution is to have professionals handle it. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's enough about Stormy Sea and everything that's going on. What's Walter been working on?
Nothing much.
Well, you were still working on
I'm still working on putting stuff away in my room, but I haven't been working on that either. So I need to get moving on it. So
yeah.
What have I been doing? I don't know what I've been doing. I've been raking leaves a lot.
Well, now it's covered in snow.
Yeah,
It's too late for that.
Well, I will have to do that when it thaws out again. So
yeah. I don't know what you do in your room all day. Stare at the screen. Well,
Yeah.
mind you, half the day is done by the time you're in there, but but then of course I don't know what you're doing at 2:00 in the morning either, because I'm long gone by then. But whatever.
Yeah, I gotta get moving on doing stuff. I gotta do stuff on the long arm too. I keep saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep saying that. Well, actually one thing that's going back to Stormy Sea, I do feel that there's a huge weight pretty much lifted off my shoulders, because I've been working on this for so long, but not every day, because I just couldn't work on it every day because it was driving me mental with it. And I'm glad it's done. So now I can start working on some easier projects and little fun things. Kind of
Yeah,
a
I
deal.
want to do something else other than making shirts. But there is a couple of shirts I would do want to make.
Well, you can hang up your quilting stuff, because holy shit, yesterday, you're not even a good assistant. We went...
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, well, before we get that, reminder, sewing with me and others, Wednesdays as usual, 9 a.m. Somebody wrote to me, and they were a little PO'd. They tried to get in, and we didn't let them in. Well, the problem was they had the wrong time and day. So, people, read it. It's right there in the description, in the show notes. It tells you, okay? It's Wednesdays. This person was trying to get in, and they must have been in a different time zone, because they were trying to get in at something like 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. I don't know. I'm wondering if they thought when they saw the link that it's like 24/7, it's always there. I never sleep. Come, sew with me any time of the day. I don't know. But they were a little bit perturbed. So I did write back to them and said, well, no, look, it says 9 o'clock Wednesdays, Eastern time. It says that right there. So yeah, didn't hear back from them. So maybe they were embarrassed that they had gotten it wrong, but they were not being very nice.
Yeah, people sometimes,
like, I'm sorry, I don't live to serve you. Okay. No. And if you've ever heard me say I live to serve, I'm being funny and facetious and sarcastic all in one. But yeah, they were quite perturbed. So this week on So Chatty, we showed you the quilt show we went to a week ago. A guild quilt show, and that was the one that was in the church. And if you saw it, you probably saw the section where I impromptu interview with a lady who was making what she called wired dolls or fantasy dolls, and I thought they were gorgeous. They were fantastic. gives me ideas for things. But it was a really nice quilt show. And they didn't have any vendors at it, but they're in an area where there really isn't any real vendors around a lot. And they had their own little store anyways of things that guild members had made. And that was all in the video and, raising money for the guild show kind of thing. So anyways, very nice ladies. One lady asked me if I speak at guilds. And I said I can. And then somebody asked me yesterday when we were at the Quilts of Valor, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been the same lady. I don't know, because she seemed to know who I was and that we had talked, but I didn't recognize her. I mean, I'm sorry, but women, they all look alike. Really. The hair, the face, I don't know. But whatever. Yes, I'm being facetious. Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to forget somebody that you talked
I
to,
forget everybody anyways, everyday new people. That's what's the beauty of having Alzheimer's. Anyways, so check that out if you haven't. Walter, you did do something this week. You did shopping. Amazon.
Oh, yeah, what?
You bought new outdoor lights.
Yeah, I did, and now it's crappy weather out,
So that means
I'm waiting for it to warm up a little bit, and then I'll...
what, July?
Well, no, there was a couple of days where there was pouring rain outside, and it was miserable, and I'm not going to work on putting up lights and when the pouring rain is. And
yeah, but you put up the Christmas lights every year, the coldest day of the year, every time, and bitch about it and complain, and then always say the same thing. You had to put them up when the weather was nicer. Yep. Same old, get out the little violin all the time.
Yeah, well, I will do that as soon as I get a day that it's a decent out to do it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But anyways, they do look like nice lights that he got. So
yeah, I bought ones that in the base of the light has electrical plugs, so that a lot of times what I do is when I put up Christmas lights and stuff like that, I'll screw in an adapter into our outdoor lights and with a plug in it, and that's usually difficult to do.
How many Walters does it take to screw in a light bulb?
And so this one has an extension that I can just plug it into the base of the light rather than trying to run wiring from the outside to the inside to the outside.
And don't they have an app and they change colors too? You can do color things.
Well, no, not on the light. The light bulb I do.
Oh,
the light bulbs are screwed into our old fixtures.
Oh, those ones.
Yeah.
How come we never changed the color?
Well, I did change it for Halloween. Right now it's white.
Oh, okay. Didn't notice that. Whatever. I didn't know that they could. Okay, whatever. It's how much I know what happens in this house outside. I don't know.
I don't tell them everything I do.
That's for damn sure. Yeah, no secrets here. Yeah. Okay, so we also went and got our flu shot this past week as well. So we're good for another year, I guess, with that. We got it from our doctor. She was busy.
Yeah, we could have gone to a drugstore and gotten it done too, but I don't know why. Every year she has a flu clinic, so we went and saw her. But in the meantime, you got...
I got a requisition to have my blood work done because I haven't had it done for a while. She hasn't been nagging me about it. So anyways, I did that. Thought kill two birds with one stone. So on the way home from getting the flu shot, went in and got my blood drawn as well. And I got the results back and everything is... I was particularly concerned with the PSA, with prostate, right? Because men my age, that's all you hear about in men's health now. Oh, get it checked. You could have cancer. Everybody has it. Get on the boat. It's a thing. And all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, okay, to be serious about it, you do have to look after that kind of thing. So I said to her, yeah, I want a PSA test. And of course, you have to pay for the PSA test here in Canada. I know for you Americans, you're going to go, what? I didn't think you had to pay for anything. No,
yeah, there are a couple of things. Actually, I don't have to pay for a PSA test because I've had an elevated PSA before. So once you get an elevated PSA, then then they no longer
They don't charge you.
Then they don't charge you if you just have it for. But how much did it cost? $40.
$41. 41, not 40, 41. It's gone up because I think the last time I had it, it cost like 33 or something, or 35.
Yeah, there's very few tests that we have to pay for, but that's one of them.
It's one of them. Which,
because the idea is that they can test, they have an alternative. Give you the finger.
yeah, and most of the doctors don't enjoy that, neither do I. You know, was it good for you? Not really. If you'd been cute, well, we could talk, but no. But anyways, yeah, so, but that was fine. The only thing is, and I knew this, I have a cholesterol problem. Who doesn't? It's not horribly out of whack, but I'm on medication for it. And I've been on medication for it for, geez, I don't know. Well, I started on medication on it, I think, when we were in the old house. Holy shit, that means it's over 30 years I've been on medication for it.
Yeah.
And I started on, what was the one that they
Lipitor.
Lipitor. And then they came out with Crestor, which was, according to my doctor at that time, supposed to be so much better for you, because as he explained it, and my original family doctor was Asian background, and he still had an accent. I go, okay, no, you take Crestor, because Crestor, it surrounds the cholesterol and destroys it, gets it flushed from your system. Whereas Lipitor, well, it just sticks, and it just sort of just stops more from stick. Okay, whatever you say. And he drew me a diagram as well on his little pad.
Of course, that's what the pharmaceuticals told him.
Yeah, that's what the pharmaceuticals told him, because he also gave me a card to get a discounted price on the Crestor. Now, we're covered. What I'm on now is, I think, a generic. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, we're covered for it.
And we're covered for it and everything, so no big deal. But I've been taking a very small amount of it, 10 milligrams a day of this for years. Well, my doctor, who's a skinny little mini that you can spit right through, she's a pill pusher, and she gets all uptight, and I'm in the range. I think my number is 2.14 or something. And, you know, they keep changing these numbers. They can't make up their minds. But anyways, I am still down way below what, you know, the risk level is, or whatever, you know, the high. Well, and I said that to her last time she checked it. She wanted to jump me up to 20 milligrams of my drug. Rosa, whatever. It's the technical name for it. Anyways, it's a statin. And statins have side effects. And side effects can be joint pain or other things as well. Now, I think I do have some of one of those side effects. I do have in my feet kind of go a little bit numb in that, my legs and that. And sometimes I have sort of like restless legs syndrome. I mean, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I mean, when your leg kicks out with no apparent reason, I would suggest that that's restless legs syndrome, whatever. But I've been living with that. And it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it's worse than others, whatever. So she wanted to double it. And I said, I don't think so. I said, my number's good. She says, well, I'd like to see it below 2. Well, are you the Canadian Medical Health group or whatever? They make the rules, not you. And I said, well, let me try taking my medication at night. Because I read somewhere or saw something that said that this kind of drug and that should be taken at night, not in the morning. I was always taking it in the morning. And the last time I had my cholesterol checked, it wasn't at 2, but it hadn't gone up. And she seemed to say, well, okay, you're doing that, so let's just stick with that. Well, my number is still the same as it was last time, but she still wants it below that. And I thought, well, it's not going down. So I said, okay, I will try it. But she said, well, but you told me that, you know, you're having trouble with the, you know, side effects from the statin. But there's another drug I can put you on that you can use with that one. And it's called what? EZETIMBE. That's a something or other.
Yeah, it's also called Easy Troll. So
Yeah. So she wrote me a prescription for that and sent it to my pharmacist with that. Well, I haven't got it yet. I'm enrolled to get it. They know about it, but there's a shortage in Canada of this particular drug. So basically, what you said that you thought they'll only give me about
they'll
30
split it up
days?
to a 30-day prescription.
Because she usually writes me like a 3-month supply or something like that. And I haven't heard back from the
Yeah,
pharmacist.
because she put me on it a little while ago, and it was causing me a problem. So I told her about it. She took me back off of it. So
Yeah. So anyways, I wait to see that. And I told her I will try it your way, and we'll see how this works out. But if I asked what are the side effects, well, actually I was talking to her secretary, assistant, whatever about this, and she said, well, you better ask the pharmacist about that, because she says, I really don't know. And I don't think Dion, my doctor, knows either, because she's not a pharmacologist. So, And yes, Barb, that's what it's called. Rose of a...
yeah, that's the generic name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
She takes 40 milligrams.
Wow. Do you have any side effects, Barb, from that you know of? Let's see. Backing up here. Quilt show, yes. Outdoor. Denise says, please keep taking these tests. I lost my grandpa and 4 of 6 of my uncles from prostate cancer. Oh yeah, I'll continue to take the tests. It's a thing, and I've had friends that had prostate cancer. One of them actually went into remission without any drugs. He claims he was into holistic medicine, or whatever you call it, kind of a thing. Okay, well, if that worked for him, that's fine. Whatever. But yeah, but right now I'm fine. How's your prostate?
Mine's fine now. I mean, I had an elevated after I had 2 urinary tract infections after each other a couple of years ago, and when I had that, my PSA, my prostate test, skyrocketed to way over what it should be, right? But that was because of the infection. And because of that test, I'm back to normal again. But because of that test, they've now, ever since every subsequent test I've gotten, they don't charge me for PSA tests. So
yeah, so
it here they charge you for, actually it's the province here that we're living in that charges you.
So Barb says, no side effects. I did not initially have high cholesterol. My doctor wanted me to take it as a preventative measure. Whoa, I thought I had a pill pusher.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah,
Ours,
really.
she measures the cholesterol and then decides whether it's too high for you or not.
My philosophy about that is, if you don't have anything broken, why have it fixed?
Now, do you have heart problems in your is that in your background, your family? Like, they might put you on that if, let's say, everybody in your family has dropped dead from a heart attack. So
yeah. Now Dubrovka says, take your medicine at night, life changer. Also take CoQ10 vitamin with it. I've never heard of a CoQ10 vitamin. What vitamin is CoQ?
Okay, I never heard. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I take a multivitamin. I always have since I was a child, daily. I take it at night too. I have blood pressure pills, which is just a very low dosage of those. And I take all of that stuff now at night. And sometimes I forget, but I try not to forget with that. And I'm getting better at it because I started doing this a few months ago. And so it's becoming habit now. But yeah. But did you find it?
Yeah, CoQ improves cardiovascular health, enhancing male fertility by increasing sperm count.
Oh, great. Well, I'm not using them anyway. So, and so what is it? That's what it's actually called, or does it have other names?
I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
We'll have to look that one up and see about it. Barb says, I had a stent put in my heart in 2020 for 85% blockage. Oh, okay. So that's why they put you on the cholesterol medication. Oh, I can see for that. Yeah. I was thinking that the doctor just decided, what the hell? Here, have a pill. Yeah, because that's what my doctor's like. Like, she's constantly pushing pills.
Okay, yeah, you've had a heart problem. So
Yeah.
ever since, whether you had a cholesterol problem or not, as soon as you had a heart problem, they put you on a cholesterol medication.
Yeah, well, I try, you know,
I had a boss that had a heart attack, and he never had a cholesterol problem before the heart attack, and after the heart attack, they put him on cholesterol medication, and that's kind of weird, because she's always talking to me about cholesterol stuff, and I said to her, well, how come the couple of people that I know that had heart attacks never had a cholesterol problem and they got a heart attack?
Jeannie says she's been taking COQ10 and have for years and years. So were you taking it because of what we were talking about with my legs and feet? And Gloria says she takes the rosuvastatin too with no side effects. So maybe this isn't a side effect that I'm having from this. Maybe this is something else. So it might be worth looking into this COQ10. Used to try to prevent statin-induced muscle pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's something that you should have talked to your doctor about.
Yeah, or talk to the pharmacist and ask him about that too, because they seem to know more about the drugs thing. Oh, it's Carol says this. Hi, Carol. Don't think we said hello. Didn't see you come in. But anyways,
Our medical problem.
Our medical problems, but you get to an age, right? But I think we're very lucky. Well, Walter always has something wrong. Because
I always have. Actually, last time I got a blood test, it was almost perfect.
Oh, and didn't you last time you had a check for colon? Weren't you, when you had your colonoscopy last time? They didn't find anything, right?
No.
So you're a perfect asshole.
No, I had diverticulitis.
Oh yeah, well I got that. Everybody's got that.
It's from a North American diet.
Yes, well, okay. Well, let's start eating European. What do you have to eat for European? Small, short people and berets? What? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, well, we'll look into this COQ10 thing because this sounds intriguing. I do hesitate on anything that is sort of a healthy, natural kind of a thing. I guess vitamins aren't really a natural. They're man-made.
Well, they do ask you. Even your doctor asks you if you're taking anything else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she knows I'm taking a multivitamin. She always asks me, "Are you still taking a multivitamin?" And I go, "Yep. Every day I take one multivitamin." Yep. Okay, let's move off our health and let's talk about the Quilts of Valor Sew Day that we went to yesterday. There will be some pictures. Well, I have one picture to show you here. But before I show this picture to you...
how'd you get that picture?
Danielle's just sent them through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just set it through. Well, I might as well show it now. It's here since we've already... So here's everybody that was at the Quilts of Valor Day. And there we all are with the quilts we worked on that day. It was one pattern, plus all the quilts hanging up on the banister are all quilts that people have donated. I see Walter, you got in the picture.
Yeah.
People on the far end didn't get in this picture.
Yeah, we're at the top of the stairs to the extreme left.
And right where there's somebody standing next up to me, a little higher than me, her quilt's covering my quilt that I took and donated to it. Yeah. But anyways, but yep, there was over 50 people there for the day, which was a good turnout. And I was trying to understand this 222. Was that how many quilts have been donated this year at this chapter?
Yeah, something.
Is that what it was? So that's pretty good. They've had like 222 Quilts of Valor. But the question I have is, we were all there for the day. We got a kit to put those quilts together. And basically it was a very simple thing because the squares that have the smaller squares in them were already done. All we had to do was take the big poppy square, sew it to a other square, to the square with the little squares in it, and make a row. and we did 7 rows and put it together. You would think that was simple.
Well, I'm not a quilter, so.
Well, I kept getting them turned the wrong way because one row is so simple. Poppy square. Square with small squares, go this way. Poppy square, another square with squares in it, goes this way. Poppy square. Second row, start with a square with squares in it going the opposite way. Then a poppy square, etc. Yeah, this isn't brain surgery or anything like that. Yeah, had trouble lining it up.
And then I made a big mistake.
A big mistake
at the end, because I was putting some stuff together myself, and I was supposed to sew the 7th row to the 6th row, and when I did that on, I accidentally put it upside down.
And I got it all sewn up, and we looked at it, and I thought, oh, thank God, we're finally done this thing. And held it up, and Walter goes, there's something wrong. And I go, no, it's right. No, it's right. No, it's wrong. I was almost tempted just to leave it, but no, we ripped her out, and I sewed it up again.
And you were having a problem with your machine.
Yeah, it kept on threading itself, and I'm not...
Unthreading it.
Yeah, what did I say?
Threading it.
Oh, no, unthreading. Anyways, yeah, and I don't know why, but I do sort of know why. It was user error. I was getting so flustered at times, I was forgetting if the thread dropped out, I was forgetting. I'd rethread it and forget to put it through the needle. So I'd do these squares. I'm going right along, chain stitching, right? Here you go. Oh, shit. They're not sewn together. And you know what the comment was. Well, you're an idiot. Well, watching Walter match up seams and clip things together.
Well, I'm not used to doing that.
It is painful. It is very painful.
Well, I'm not used to doing that. I'm used to doing shirts.
Yeah. Didn't even make a good assistant with it. So, yeah.
That's why I don't like quilting.
Well, I can see it. But anyways, it was a fun day. We worked our butts off. We almost didn't get there. Because we took the 401, which is a major highway in southern Ontario. And we're trucking along trucking along very nicely. And then suddenly, we're at a halt. Well, this isn't an area of Ontario on the highway. This is going east away from Toronto. You expect this when you're approaching Toronto, not when you're going away from it. And it stopped. And we're thinking, well, is there an accident or something? A major accident? Then we see one of those light up signs that we creeped up to. And it says, anti-icing spraying, expect delays. Well, these are these trucks that have this spray thing, and they spray it on the pavement, so when it snows, the ice doesn't stick to the asphalt. But there was no ice, and it was a perfectly blue sky. And I'm going, well, aren't we just early? Well, little did we know. I
knew this was coming today.
Oh, well, because you're just
I said
a god.
that yesterday when we were in there. I said it's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, we were supposed to be there. They were opening the doors at 10. We were supposed to be there at about 9:45 because you have to go in, get yourself set up, and away you go. And I'm looking and going, we're not going to make it.
Yeah, we were on our way thinking that we were going to get there at 9:30, 15 minutes before we were supposed to get there. And then all of a sudden my GPS said that we're going to get there till about 10:30. But actually we did show up just a little after 10, so.
Yeah. So we got there just in time, but here's the kicker. No tables. The other people that got there before us took over, but here's the problem. It was supposed to be 2 people at a table. Well, do you think they listened to instructions? No, these ladies came in with their sewing machines and they're all spread out over one table. So there's not enough tables. So then the organizer had to go around and say, okay, ladies, 2 people to a table. And you were supposed to be working in partnership too on this quilt, right? As well, to make it faster. So there were 2 ladies sitting at 2 tables, and one lady got up. She says, well, here, you guys can have this table. You know, very nice of her to do that. There were other ones that were putting up a bit of a struggle about this. So anyways, we had the table, but we had just rolled in our sewing machines, hadn't got anything out yet because the organizer had announcements. And it was more like sermonette because the announcements never ended. There was, okay, bathrooms are over there, food's in the kitchen, do this, do that. We'll do this, what's this, what's going, we're having a draw. And it went on and on and on. Meanwhile, there's this woman standing very close to us and she's eyeballing our table. And I'm looking at her, giving her the stink eye, like, you haven't got a hope in hell, lady, of getting that table. That's ours. You get your own, kind of a thing. I think she got the hint. Anyways, yeah, we got going. But everybody there was very nice, very lovely. The whole bit. It was a good day. You were supposed to bring your own lunch, kind of a thing. Although they said they were going to have chili and soup available, kind of a thing. Oh no, we took these sandwiches and everything. We walked into the kitchen on a break to have lunch. They had all these boxes of pizza. And you know, pizza is one of my favorite food groups. They're from a local place. And yeah, they had chili, they had soup, they had other stuff. And then everybody said to people, if you want to bring a snack kind of a thing, like to put out to share, you know, squares, cookies, something like that. And actually, we had bought some things to take, and Walter forgot to put them in the bag.
Because I was still half asleep while we were leaving.
And I thought they were in the bag. But didn't have to worry about it because, oh my God, sugar overload in the kitchen. There was so much stuff. They could have opened a bakery with it. So, yeah, and I am sure there was a lot of stuff that people ended up taking home with them or whatever they did with it. I don't know. But maybe donate it to a local food bank or something, probably, because there was just a whole lot. But it was a good day. There was one presentation of a quilt. So we watched that, and I did take pictures of that presentation. I'm not showing them here. I have a little video including those pictures in it of our day. Now, I didn't take video of everybody sitting and sewing, mainly because we were too busy sewing ourselves. And people kept coming up and talking to us, which was nice and very friendly and that. Some of those people knew about our channel and, you know, said, oh, we watch you all the time, and that always makes you feel good. I also had made a whole bunch of 3D printed thingies that I handed out, promotional merch, okay, you know, business card on it. One lady said, and I think I said this earlier, I think she may have been at the other quilt show, but she wants to contact me about doing a presentation for their guild. Her guild is in Napanee.
Yeah, which is a little further in Trent.
Yeah, a little bit further away, but that's okay.
I looked it up last night. It's an hour and a half.
Well, we've been to Napanee before. It's before you get to Kingston, kind of a thing. I'm sort of thinking in my mind, depending on what time of the year that they want this done or whatnot, that might be a good time for us to go on a little staycation in Kingston. Kingston's kind of fun, so we could do that. I don't charge for doing this. They're a guild. Guilds don't have a lot of money. And quite frankly, and I think I've mentioned this before when I did the other two on that, what would I charge? I mean, you know, I'm just flattered that they're, you know, and if they don't like my presentation, it costs them nothing. So, yeah, so we'll see. She's supposed to, I gave her contact information, so we'll see what comes of that. What are people saying there? Beautiful picture. She has also posted about a dozen photos. I think Bonnie is referring to Danielle Barnes. I'm not sure. She must have posted on their website or on, I don't know if they have a Facebook page or not.
Yeah. Somebody asked something about the poppy.
What?
Oh, Kim, yeah, there we go. You haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, are the poppy square with little square quilts larger than in the picture?
Actually, they're quite a bit larger because people weren't holding them all up in their full width and lengths because
Yeah.
everybody's squeezed
They
up on the.
they're folded in half.
Yeah.
They measure about
Well,
those
their
squares
are
were
about
12 and a
inches.
half.
Yeah,
Well,
well, 12
unfinished.
inches.
So 12 inches, and there's
So there were 5
six
squares.
across. No, 5 across.
Five across.
So that's 60
And-
inches.
And,
And
7 down.
7 down.
Yeah.
That's math. That's hard.
Right, yeah.
What's that? 80? No, wait.
80.
I can't do 12 times.
Yeah.
So let's see. 5 times 12. So this is
12 times
72. So it's 84.
Yeah.
84 inches. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to, like, we handed them all in at the end of it. They did give us some binding. They're doing a flange binding. Unfortunately, the people, whoever cut the squares, some of the squares were a little skewy. And the organizer, Leslie, she said, yeah, you're going to find some of the squares might be a little off, but don't worry about that. Don't spend time squaring them up. Well, I did. Because
And some of ours were still a little out.
yeah, we were still a little out with them, a little cockeyed. And you want to know something? This was Northcott fabric. Holy crap, did it fray. And I have heard people talking about fabrics they've been buying lately in the last year and how badly a lot of them, like good fabric, is fraying, which begs the question, what are manufacturers? Are they?
Yeah, like that shirt that I did there. I think that was a Timeless Treasure.
This is Timeless Treasures.
Yeah, and it frayed bad too when I sold it.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the binding. I started working on the binding. They gave us the strips and everything. And I got some of my strips together and I'm looking at, wait, these strips are not matching up. What did I do wrong? Then I figured out I didn't do anything wrong. What I did wrong was I didn't bother to measure the strips to see if they were all the same size. They weren't cut right. And one of the strips, because they're doing this flange binding thing, is cut at 1 7/8, and then the smaller one is cut at whatever. I have never done a flange binding at all. So, this was news to me. And the lady over at the table, she says, yeah, they should be 1 7/8. And I says, oh, 1/8 of an inch? I hate 1/8 of an inch. So, anyways, I got some. We didn't get those done, so and whatever. Last year, I took the quilt home because we didn't get it finished. And I said, look, I'll finish it. And I put a backing on. I put it on Lucy, and I did all of that. And I said, no, I'm not doing that this year. They don't ask you to do that. They have a team of people who will finish them up in their guild or in their group, and they'll do all of that. And they have long armors in the group and the whole bit who do this stuff. But and then of course, then we have to get it back to them. So that's a special trip kind of a deal. And so, I just left it. Everybody else was leaving theirs too. So they said, yeah, just pile them up here. So we did. But it was a nice day. We had a good time there, and
yeah, the weather was good to drive
yep.
there and back, and other than hitting the
traffic
jam. But it was kind of nice to go because a lot of people talked to us, and I wanted prize.
Walter won the door prize. It was a basket of stuff. It was donated by Rhonda of Rhonda's Quilts, and those of you that were at my spring retreat will remember that Rhonda very generously donated some gift certificates to her shop. By the way, Rhonda right now is having a big sale, 40% off everything.
Yeah, but you have to put in a code. And it's on her website.
Well, it's on her website. And her website is... I had her card here. I think it's Rhonda's Quilts, isn't it?
Let me just take a look.
Walter's looking it up. But anyways, big sale. Now, I'm not sure about the shipping business right now to the States, though.
Yeah.
So if you're Canadian, good thing. And she's got a good selection. And... her prices, even when they're not on sale, are usually very good for her fabric. Did you find it?
Rhonda's Quilt Creations.
Rhonda's Quilt Creations.
And I don't know what her actually website is.
I think it's the same thing except all one word.
Yeah.
.ca. Well, you're not good.
No.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, Rhonda's Quilt Creations in lowercase, all one word.
.com.
.com. Yeah.
.com. Yeah. So check it out. Anyways, Walter won the basket. Well, okay, I think the basket was put together with a lady in mind. There were other men than us there, though. There were two other older gentlemen. We talked to them for a minute, and we got too busy with what we were doing that we didn't speak to them again. They probably thought we were mean gays, or whatever. But yeah, so.
But most of the stuff is usable, so.
What is usable?
And that was in the.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
It had a, what do you call it, a strip pack in there too.
Yeah, I got that. Well, I did technically buy the tickets.
Yeah.
For it. But that there was some fluffy socks, nice warm woolly socks. They were definitely lady socks, and there was also a lady's scarf as well.
A couple of things of thread. A couple of spools of thread and
the strip pack of batik
and a pattern and
there was a pattern for. I looked at that pattern this morning. I didn't think I'll ever do it.
No, and so there was quite a few.
There's quite a few stuff. Oh, and there was a bottle of. Well, it
was a bottle of wine, but it was wine that's been doctored and it's got sugar in it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I think it's a sweet wine.
It's got chocolate and cherry or something.
Yeah,
in
which
it.
isn't really our thing.
No.
But anyway,
might be considered a dessert wine.
Yeah, I think it's a type of dessert wine, and then a great big package of chocolates.
Huge bag of these chocolates that have pistachio in them and other things. I had a couple of them the other night. They're going to be dangerous because actually they're very, very tasty. And the chocolate on them that they're in, it's very, very good chocolate too to start with. So yeah. Anyways, it was a good day. We had a good time. Okay, just catch up here on what people are saying, if anything. Denise says, the maple leaf in the middle.
She likes the maple leaf in the middle of the exploding heart quilt.
Oh, I see.
So I will have to try and find that Quilt of Valor for my nephew. It might be on. Is it on? It
might be on the Quilt of Valor site. So all you have to do is just do a search for Quilt of Valor Canada. And you'll find their site, and you can go in there, and they've got a section called Patterns. And I don't know. I was in there not too long ago, but I don't remember seeing it. But then I wasn't really looking for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a neat pattern. You're going to do a quick search. Okay. All right. So, other news this week. I had a lot of other things, but that's okay. Canadian budget. Are having a little civil war in this country. Well, it's not really a civil war, but it's just stupid. In our country, the government comes out with a budget every year, as most governments do, and it is presented to the House of Commons, and then eventually it comes to a vote. If it passes, fine. But if the opposition wants to get pissy about it, they don't like it, and if there's enough of them that vote against it, and there's, like right now we have a minority government, but it's a minority government by one seat, more about that in a minute, then that's counted as a non-confidence vote, which means that the government dissolves and we have to have an election for a new government. This is not the time we want another election. Not just because it's so close after the last election and it's coming to the Christmas season, but because of what's going on with us and with the Trump administration. We need a strong government from both the ruling party and the opposition. Now, the person who leads the opposition, and there'll be other people who will disagree with me on this, and this is fine and dandy because that's how politics work, is a conservative, and he's an asshole. All he cares about is becoming the next prime minister. He doesn't care about the people in this country, because if he did, he'd be doing things to help support the government as a united front against the enemies from without. Sorry, Americans, but you are the enemies from without. Not you individually, but you know what I mean, your administration. So, yeah, now they haven't had the vote yet, but we've had 2 MPs desert the Conservatives. One walked across the floor, which means when they do that, they physically walk across to the other side of the House of Commons and join the ruling party or one of the parties. In this case, the ruling party, the Liberals. So that gave them an extra seat now. And they were already close. They only needed 3 seats for a majority government. That just gave them another one. Another guy didn't walk, but he resigned his position. So that means he doesn't have a vote on anything anymore. And that means that there's only 1 seat away from a majority government. Now, if we have a majority government, it doesn't matter what the opposition does, because the majority government will, every member of it will vote for the budget and everything stays the same. But they are now scandalizing out there that there could be more conservatives from the party, because they are very disgruntled with the leadership shown by Pierre Poilievre, who is the Conservative Party leader. So there may be more walk across the floor or resign, or not even vote when the budget comes up. If they don't vote for it one way or the other, then that's good for the party in power as well. So this is interesting. The journalists are predicting that we're going to see more go across to the Liberal side as we grow closer to the vote. And the vote's not until November the 17th. In fact, they're even saying we may see some last minute, just before the vote is taken, walk across. Very interesting situation right now in our politics. This is exciting. And Canadian politics is never exciting. Okay, it's pretty humdrum for the most part. Which in comparison to the American politics, I kind of go for the humdrum with it. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. And it's keeping us amused as well. And I had to say that because the title of today is, So What Amuses Us?
Yeah.
This is amusing us.
Denise White.
Where's Denise?
The Quilts of Valor Canada does not have that pattern in it.
Oh.
But if you do a search for Exploding Heart of Canada quilt pattern, you will find it in several places. Like there's a place called Fabrications Ottawa that has it, or even our local quilt store, Ultimate Sewing Center, Threaded Lines. So you can do a search on that Exploding Heart of Canada quilt pattern.
Health warning, just in for Dana. Dana, health warning. The chocolate with pistachio filling are called Dubai. They're not called Dubai. Dubai is a place. It's where they come from.
There is a Dubai brand.
But it comes from Dubai.
It may or may
That's
not,
right.
but there's something called a Dubai
But
brand.
anyways, there's a warning about this pistachio stuff, that there's a possibility of, is it salmonella?
Salmonella poisoning. But do a search on
it.
Health Canada. There are certain brands that they have advertised on Health Canada that they can have salmonella in their pistachios, but it's certain brands.
No,
So
Marjan, you're wrong.
Yeah, she is right.
What? I thought if he resigned, he can't vote.
Yeah, he's not technically resigning until spring. He's not leaving till the spring.
But he can't vote either.
I don't think he can vote.
No, he
right
can't
now,
vote.
no.
He doesn't have a vote because he has said he is resigned. He has said he's resigned.
But he's not leaving.
But they won't put him out yet because they have to have a by-election to fill his seat with it. Yeah. Quilting. Faith says the sale was yesterday and today, November 8th and 9th. Oh, okay. That's the one on Ronda's. March says there's no more dissent in the Conservative Party. The turmoil has been overblown. Oh no, Marjan.
Where are you getting
She's
your
Alberta.
information from?
She's from Alberta. Yeah, your information is completely wrong, dear. Completely wrong.
She's obviously a conservative.
Yeah, and you should watch the news and watch the National and all the top journalists in our country about it, because yeah, they've got the real information. It's not fake news. Okay. Okay, Deluxe says, darn, I just bought a bag of that chocolate at Costco. Well, Costco also has on their website, they have a thing where they list products that have been recalled, so you can check it there to see if this one's affected.
If you've just bought a bag from Costco, the stuff that you've purchased has probably not been recalled.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
No. So anyways, this whole episode was about what amuses us, and we were going to talk about what we're reading, what we're watching, and that. So very quickly, What am I reading? And I say me because Walter reads the news. You read Apple News, you read the national, you read all the major
Well,
national
and Apple News is all kinds of
kind of from our
conglomerate
country
from everything.
and stuff like that. I watch the National on YouTube every day, which is our major news program for the nation on CBC, which do a very thorough job, and they're very, very accurate and very reliable. They do their fact finding before they report anything.
And I've
on there.
watched a lot of YouTube videos with Canadian reporting.
Yeah. Reporting in Canada is a little different from what we don't have as many. We do have them, but we don't have as many of the, to use a phrase from your president, fake news places there. We have a few, but you can usually tell who they are because it's pretty obvious. There's
Barb is right. Costco will send you an email if you've purchased a product that's been recalled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just Dana, I don't want to see you die. Okay, I'm just looking after your health, dear. So you might just want to double check. Okay, so I've been reading right now, just finishing up Dan Brown's book, his latest one. Dan Brown's the guy who wrote Da Vinci Code and a bunch of others. I've read several of his books, enjoy them. Like him. I was excited when I heard this book was coming out. I pre-ordered it and everything. I read electronically on my Kobo. I have to say I'm a little disappointed in it. It's not his usual style. And in fact, the plot line of it is a little bit, I mean, his plot lines deal in fantasy and legend to a certain extent. They're based on fact, much of it, because he has a whole thing usually at the end of his books telling you where this information has come from and how much of it was his extension of it with his imagination and how much of it is real. But this one, I'm not really enjoying it the way I've liked his other books. So I'm almost done it. And when I am, I'm going to Louise Penny. Another one. I love Louise Penny. If you don't know Louise Penny, she is a Canadian author. She wrote the first one of her early books in a series was called Three Pines. They made, was it 3 Pines or 2 Pines? No, it's 3 Pines. I think there's 3 Pines in there. And it's about a small eastern counties in Quebec community and a detective, actually a chief of police and this kind of stuff. And it's a really great series of books. And I think this is book number 17 or 18. And it's called The Black Wolf.
3 Pines.
3 Pines, yes, I thought. Love the book, love the characters. And I love her development of the characters. The very first book is kind of sweet and nice and all, there's mystery to it and that, but it's all, very PG. Oh, they're not so much anymore. Her characters have gone to the dark side, some of them, and it makes them even more interesting in it. So I can't wait to get into that one. And then I also I love Ken Follett, and if you remember, Ken Follett wrote one of his books he's really famous for, and they made a TV miniseries out of it back a few years ago, is Pillars of the Earth. And his stuff has historical basis. Not all of his stuff does, but the ones I really like the most is his historical stuff. And this one is called Circle Days, and I'm not really sure what it's about, but I saw it was Ken Follett. I had to have it. So that'll be up after I finish Louise Penny. And then Margaret Atwood, our foremost Canadian author in this country. You may know her better for Handmaid's Tale, but she's written many, many other phenomenal books over the years. In fact, I used to hate Margaret Atwood. I had to study her in university as an English literature major, and I didn't like her. I found her kind of pushy, whiny, and blaming everything on men. Well, basically, she still does that, but she does it with a lot more finesse now. And The Handmaid's Tale was the first of her books that I really got into Margaret Atwood. So she has her book of memoirs out, and I saw her interviewed on the National. And she is a very interesting lady. Very, very intelligent. Well, I always knew that. But she's also very witty as well. She's got a very dry sense of humor. And, she is great. So that book I want to read as well. And then we watch streaming all the time. Who doesn't? Netflix. And so we've been watching a bunch of different things to the point where we can't remember which episode we've seen and we haven't. So I had to put them all on my phone. So The Witcher, if you like fantasy, I'm
not that keen on this year.
no, and they changed the hot guy from Witcher. Well, they put in another hot guy, but
He's not so hot.
he's not as hot as the one. What's his name? Henry
Cavill.
Cavill, who played Superman at one time. He's hot. Now they've got what's his name?
Liam.
The brothers. Hemsworth. Which,
he's not Harry.
and no, we like hairy guys, and he just doesn't have the presence for this character that Henry did. So I don't know, and I always find fantasy shows hard to follow. Although this one's interesting, it's just that I lose track of what's going on. Of course, I do fall asleep too, so that might be
that
part of
doesn't help.
Murdoch, which is based on a real life family.
Yeah, there's several ones on Netflix as well, but we're watching the one which is on Hulu or whatever. Murdoch, the Murdoch.
Yeah, I forget what they call it. Something.
Death in the Family. Murdoch,
wait,
Murdoch Murders, Death in the Family.
I have them all up here. I forgot all about them. Where is my thing? Here we go. Okay, why is it not coming up? It doesn't matter. It was just pictures of them. So, whatever. The Morning Show. That's one with, what's her name?
Yeah.
What's her name? From Friends.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Aniston.
Yeah, whatever.
Aniston or whatever.
Yeah. She's pretty good in it, but there's also Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
She's in it too, and I think this is about the third season of it.
Fourth, I think.
Is it fourth?
Yeah.
Very intriguing, the whole thing.
Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon.
Reese, yeah.
Reese. Like in Reese's Pieces.
Oh, so Reese Witherspoon. Okay,
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon.
Like in Reese's.
Yes, Pieces. Then there's a show we've just started watching called Down Cemetery Road. It's a murder kind of mystery thing. Kind of like
I believe that's on.
Is that on? That's on Netflix, isn't it? Or is that on Apple?
I believe it's on Apple.
Yeah, it's good. And then there's another show called The Last Frontier, which takes place in Alaska, and it's basically a plane comes down, sort of crash lands with all these convicts, like murderous convicts, the bad ones, death row ones, some of them, that kind of stuff. They all escape into the woods, and they're trying to find them. But there's one guy in particular who sort of engineered this. Was a spy or something, and everybody's trying to find him. It's very, very intriguing.
And it's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple too. And then there's one that just started called Pluribus. Still not sure about it. It's strange.
It's very strange.
It's very strange. Everybody gets some kind of disease, and it makes them they're kind of hive-minded, except there's about 11 people that this hasn't affected. And I don't know.
And
it
follows
weird.
One of the people that aren't affected.
If you watch Severance, it's kind of like weird like that.
It's another Apple TV one.
Yeah. Palm Royale is coming. We've watched. Is this the third season?
Second season.
This only
There's
no.
Yeah, there's only one.
No, this is the third.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure it's the third season.
Palm Royale season 2. 2 seasons.
Oh, never mind. Then what am I thinking of? Oh, well, that's how much I remember. Okay, anyways, it's kind of fun. It's a comedy kind of thing with a mystery and title with it too. And then there's one, I don't know if Walter will want to watch
Apple
it.
TV one too.
Yeah.
We watch a lot of Apple TV.
Yep. There's one called Death by Lightning, and it's historical, and it's about the assassination of Garfield.
And I believe that's on Netflix.
Yeah, and I mean the president, not the cat that eats lasagna. So those are things we like on TV and what we like to read. And music. We used to be big in music, but we liked very specific type of music. And there hasn't been any good music since the 90s. I'm sorry. I don't like hip hop or hip hop adjacent.
We don't like hip hop. We don't like rap. We're not much into classical country music.
No. There's a few pieces
pop
maybe.
Country music's okay, but
we like what used to be called in the 90s Eurodance.
Yeah.
And trance music and electronic music. and that. But of course,
And ABBA
ABBA,
and
Pet Shop Boys. Yeah, yeah. That's what we like.
Erasure.
Yeah. And podcasts. Well, and YouTube. Well, lately I've been into a lot of cat videos and pimple popping. I also watch a lot of news programs on there. Never used to, but I'm really into it in the last half a year now for that. And as far as podcasts are concerned, well, I listen to a couple, but they are gay oriented. So, yeah. And I could explain what they're about, but you wouldn't get it unless you're gay with it. And then I'd have to kill you or take back the toaster oven. And if you didn't get that reference to the toaster oven, then you can't listen to these podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts?
No, I don't. I watch a lot of YouTube though, but I watch a lot of political stuff, both American and Canadian. I watch a lot of. There's a couple of Dutch ones I watch, and they're all in Dutch. There's I watch a lot of like how to do things. Like if I have a question about something in the house, of how to do something.
How do I screw in a light bulb?
Yeah, how do I screw in a light bulb? Watch a lot of stuff, reviews about products and stuff like that. I watch a lot of electronic show things. I watch car things about explaining new cars and stuff. I watch a lot of different things.
You watch a lot of straight things.
Yeah, I do.
Really? You may have to get back the toaster oven.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So let's see. Heather asks, is this Louise Penny's last book in the series? Yes, it is so far. Barb says, favorite Margaret Atwood is 85 years old. Yes, I know, and she's going strong. This interview that was done with one of the CBC course journalists was really good. I watched it, and it was a really good interview, and it really, yeah, she is quite a character. But then most writers are. Barb says, I thought we couldn't get Hulu in Canada. Well, you can if you go through, what do we get it on?
If you get Disney streaming,
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, Hulu is a part of that.
Yeah. But I don't know if you get the full Hulu.
Yeah, I don't know if you get the whole.
I think you get selected
some,
things from it.
Things that some of the major series that Hulu comes out with.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. The Silo, Marjan says, good show on Apple TV. Yeah, we saw that, and I don't know when they're coming out with the next season of it.
It's supposed to be, I think, early next year.
I read the books. There's 3 books in the series, and I read them all with it. And if they stay somewhat true to the book, the next season should be very interesting. Caldornian Alpha
93
Exploding Heart of Canada Kit.
Yeah.
Okay. Marjan says the morning show could have a good drinking game for how many times Jennifer Aniston says, yes, that's true. Yeah, if you are upset about language, don't watch it.
Actually, that sounds like the guy we were sitting next to in the
Oh
restaurant.
my God. He couldn't say a complete sentence without using the F word twice in every sentence.
Yeah, I said to Steve, if we take a drink after every time he says that word, then
we'll fall off our bar stool. Yeah, that's for sure. But anyway, so what does our interests in books and music and in podcasts and YouTube, what does that say about us? Because it does say something about you. Well,
I like it. I like absorbing information.
Yes. And I like absorbing information too, but I like to be entertained by it. I like a good mystery. I like to problem solve. I think that's why I like mysteries.
Now, I don't read novels. Steve reads novels. The only time in my life
Can you read?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can read.
Oh,
The only
that's
time I've ever read it's just that they're too big. I have a short
Attention span.
So, the only time I've ever read any novels was many years ago. I used to commute on a commuter train, and I either slept on it or I'd read a novel. And that's the only time I've ever read novels.
We like
I
science.
actually read the entire Dune trilogy when I was doing that.
I couldn't. I read Dune, and I tried the next
I
one. I
read
couldn't
a
do it.
lot of science fiction books.
I like science fiction.
Since then, since my commuting days, very rarely have I read a novel. So, but I have read a lot of articles. Like I'll go through Apple News and they have magazines on there too, and I'll go through some of them, and when I see an article I want to read, I'll read the entire article. So
Yeah.
and a lot of times they're like really boring crap.
Yeah, I know, because you send me links to them.
I'll read. I will tend
Your whole
to read a manual. I'll read all the manuals from cover to cover. Like if I get a new sewing machine, I read the manual from cover to cover.
Can you say nerd?
Right? But I like reading information stuff.
We like science fiction. We both do. But I love anything, whether movie or book, that involves time travel. I have always loved anything about time travel. You know, if I had a superpower, I would like the ability to be able to travel through time. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to read a lot of science fiction too. Like let's say you have one book I read a long time ago was like, if let's say you actually live to like 300 or 400 years or something like that, and they said, well, would you actually have a wife for that long? Like you get married and
No.
only have one wife?
No. Variety is the spice of
They
life.
brought up some interesting concepts about, would you only have the same, like now in our lifetime, you have the same job for 30 years or 40 years and then you retire, right? Well, if you could live 300 or 400 years, would you have the same job for 300 or 400 years before you have to quit? Or would you go to different jobs?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting reading that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the other thing that I love watching are documentaries, or as most of you know, docunaps, because I only see the beginning, I sleep through the middle, and I see the end. So, and I have been known to watch the same documentary several times through and still not seen the whole thing because I fall asleep in the same part every
so
time.
like we'll watch these shows and I have to keep asking them, are you still awake? Or like on Friday or watching Pluribus or whatever. And so he saw the beginning. I know he wasn't awake for the whole middle part of it. And then he saw the end. I said, did you see this part? Did you see this part? Did you see that part?
Green...
No, I have been known to fall asleep during it.
Yeah. Well, you do it too. Green Quilts Galore says, try Frickin' Frack by Atwood. Not. Okay, I have not heard of that one by Atwood. Rebecca is here. She says, if you like time travel, have you seen Outlander? Yeah, there's a new Sin-Off out now. Yeah, I know Outlander, and I read one of the books before they made the series. I think I read the first book. My mother loved it. She loved the series. She loved the books. She read them all. I could see why, because, okay, hot guy from old Scotland meets hot chick from the present, and, well, what's not to like about a man in a kilt? You know, kind of a thing. I tried to watch the show, the TV show, and I couldn't get into it. And it's the same with the books. I read the first one, I started the second one, and it was, you know, it's the kind of a book where there's the half-naked guy with the woman in his arms, you know, that kind of stuff. That's the way it is.
Romance novel.
Yeah, romance. Historical romance, I guess. Yeah. Maybe I should give it a try again, because I have read historical romances before. I don't mind them. But that one, I don't know. I couldn't get into it the same as others. So, but that was a while ago, like quite a while ago when I tried it. So maybe I should try it again, revisit it. But anyways, thinking of revisit, it is time for us to revisit our lives and go out of this time period. Okay, that segue didn't work. I tried, whatever. So sue me. Whatever, you'll get nothing. Okay, so thanks for joining us today. Next week on The Idiot Quilter, I will have more pictures from and a little bit of video about the Sew Day at Quilts of Valor and got some new things on my vlog to show you, hot off the 3D printer, and I'll talk a little bit more about Stormy Sea and some other problems associated thereof. And then on So Chatty this week coming up, I have no idea what we're doing, but I never do. So, just before I let you all go, some things we need from you. One, we always need suggestions for topics for this and for So Chat. I need pictures of your creations with a 50 words or less blurb about it, because I have nothing to show. This coming week, I have nothing. I don't think. I might have one. That's it. So it doesn't have to be a quilt. It can be anything that you have created with your own little hands and imagination or whatever. My little segment on there about what's twisting your seams, like finding fabric from your stash that you'd forgotten you bought it one time and now you're questioning why did you buy it in the first place or whatever. Again, just send me one picture of that and just a little short blurb about, what made you love it when you first saw it? Did you ever use it? And why do you not love it anymore? Kind of a deal. I need these things, people. If I don't have them, then you're going to be forced to listen to me make things up. And I can. And I will. And if that's a threat, could be. So, anyways, everybody have a nice evening tonight. And if it's snowing in your area, warm up the shovel. And we'll talk to everybody later. Bye.